Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
What a beautiful day. And what a beautiful place, right? I don't know about you, I can't stop smiling. This is just gorgeous. Thank you for being here today to commemorate the signing of 5 bills. And there probably could be more, but we're going to focus on 5 today that are going to help Oregon build the housing that Oregonians need and build them with the urgency that Oregonians deserve. Because we know what the crisis is, we need to keep going. The bills I'm going to sign today are crucial to breaking down those barriers that are out there to keeping us from doing more housing construction. And these bills are going to bring down the cost of housing, which is really, really important. How we do construction affects also the final affordability of those homes, and it's important. I want to thank Habitat for Humanity for hosting us here today at Century Commons. This is amazing. Thank you this is such a fantastic site. Really, really beautiful homes. And I also want to thank everyone who is here today that has been a partner in the advocacy that has been necessary to have these types of bills assigned today. You have been fighting the uphill battle with us on the last couple years to continue to put more tools out there to help communities build homes. And we wouldn't be here without your help. So thank you for joining us in the celebration. We know that too many Oregon families are struggling with the cost of living and are being forced to make really impossible choices. Staying in the communities they love and where they work or their kids go to school, or trying to find a place they can afford. We want them to not have to make those choices. And in too many cases, the state's lack of affordable housing pushes Oregon families out of their homes altogether into really untenable couch surfing situations, or worse, on the streets because they cannot find a place that they can afford. The housing affordability crisis not only deepens our homelessness crisis, it's at the core of the crisis that we are facing. And it's an economic crisis as well. When Oregonians cannot afford to live where they work or cannot find housing options that align with their needs, our economy suffers. And employers lose potential hires, basic services face chronic workforce shortages, and new industries in our state struggle to get off the ground. As you all know, the state has not produced enough housing at the right price points to match Oregon's needs. This is the result of decades of underbuilding and red tape that slows or stalls housing production, making building more expensive and the cost to Oregonians go up. To turn the tide on this, and what we're doing today takes creative, practical solutions to increase the supply of homes as fast as we can. And this year, the Oregon legislature, with all of your help, answered that call. The legislature passed bold, bipartisan policies that offer clear solutions to our crisis. So today I'm signing 5 bills. House Bill 2138 will legalize and speed up the production of middle housing to not only give Oregonians the housing options that suit their lives, but also lower the price of housing for everyone. I'm signing House Bill 2258, which will create pre-approved building plans, we called it Oregon Homes, making approval processes faster and more efficient, and eliminating barriers to build more small apartments, single-unit homes, duplexes, townhomes, and other middle housing options. Both of those bills, those 2 bills, really lean into the most feasible housing production within our urban growth boundaries that we can do right now. And it's going to make a difference for families across our state. Because when we build more kinds of homes, those seniors who are living in a large home and want to downsize in their community, they're going to have different options. When those young families can afford to buy that starter home close to schools and stores and parks and their jobs, they will be more successful for first-time home buying. And when our essential workers, like our teachers and our nurses and our firefighters, can afford to live in the community they serve, we all benefit. I'm also signing House Bill 3031 today, which creates the Housing Infrastructure Project Fund. And that is designed to invest resources in the transportation and water and sewer and other site development that's necessary to build new housing. In some communities, it's just too difficult to build new homes because they don't have the basic infrastructure in place. This new project fund is going to provide that tool to get us on the path for more infrastructure in these communities that want to build new homes. I'm also signing Senate Bill 684, which was championed by Senators Confam and Dick Anderson, and House Bill 3145, championed by Representative Pam Marsh. Senate Bill 684 creates the Construction Revolving Loan Fund, a new tool to provide long-term financing for mixed-income residential housing. We have to build all types of housing at different price points to get to the solutions we need in communities. House Bill 3145 will set aside $25 million in bonding to build factory-produced modular housing, which can be built faster and at a lower cost than traditional construction. And I just want to remind people, we've invested in companies in Oregon that do this type of construction work right now. And with that extra $25 million, we're going to get more of those homes out in communities. And it's not a one-size-fits-all. We need modular. We need traditional stick. We need more middle housing. We need all of those things. And these 5 bills together will get us there. The legislature did a tremendous job. They came into session knowing they needed to work on housing, and they worked with my team in my office every day during session to make sure we could have a successful session for housing construction. To have more tools and more resources coming forward to address our housing supply crisis, we are going to move forward, and this is a watershed session in that regard. And so before I close and give up the podium to our my other guests here today who are going to speak as well, it's important to remember that Oregon's housing affordability and supply crisis will not be solved overnight. Today's not a victory lap. I believe in celebrating, but it's just for a day, and then we're going to get back to work because we have a lot to do. We have to appreciate the hard work and dedication that gets us here. We have to identify those tools and resources and continue the work tomorrow to make sure that we can keep building, keep marching towards a future where every Oregonian has a place they can afford, and make sure no Oregonian has to sleep outside. This today is about that journey forward. This is a great day to celebrate, and I really want to appreciate everyone who's here and the folks who are going to speak from their experiences of why this is important, and thank you all for being here. And with that, I would like to have Senator Confam join us. Then she'll be followed by Tillamook County Commissioner Erin Scar, Deb Flegan from Hayden Homes, and then Brett Deary, a homeowner from Central Oregon. So, Senator Pham.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Con Pham. I'm proud to represent Northeast and Southeast Portland, Senate District 23, and also serve as the Senate Chair of the Housing and Development Committee. First off, I want to thank Governor Kotek for her leadership and her laser-focused vision on how do we tackle the twin crises of housing and homelessness in our state. And we know that there are too many families right now who are unable to afford a roof over their head or find a home that really meets their needs and the needs of their family, because we simply don't have enough housing. And when there's too much competition for the scarce and dwindling number of homes, then of course prices go up, rents go up, and housing prices go up. And so I really just want to appreciate the work that Governor Kotek and the stakeholders that she's brought together have brought to figuring out how do we increase housing supply, how do we remove the barriers that are currently standing in the way of Oregon building enough homes to meet the needs of Oregonians at all ages, wages, and stages of life. So I wanted to talk a little bit about one of the bills. In our conversations with developers and with home builders, one of the big obstacles that we continuously heard was the increasing rate of inflation and the increasing rates of financing that are really preventing developments from penciling. Projects that used to pencil out even a few years ago are no longer penciling because of the high interest rates. And so Senate Bill 684 will actually establish well, actually, it doesn't establish a fund, but establishes some of the planning and policy work needed so that we can eventually start giving out lower interest rate loans to spur mixed income developments. These are developments that include both market rate and affordable, and we've seen this successfully launched in communities including Montgomery County, Maryland, Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Atlanta, Georgia. This has been through this revolving loan fund that offers lower interest rate loans. We've seen thousands of new units being produced that are penciling without depending on federal LIHTC tax credits, which we know are extremely competitive and oversubscribed in this moment. So I just want to thank Governor Kotek for her leadership in really working with the legislature, because this is just one tool. We know that not one tool is going to solve all of it, and so I really just appreciate her partnership and also my legislative colleagues' partnership in coming up with solutions that include everything from infrastructure financing to modular homes with Rep. Marsh's leadership to modular housing. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the third point. Getting rid of the regulatory, kind of bureaucratic challenges that sometimes slow down and make the price of housing go up. So with that, I'm going to just, thank you. And I think this is just the start. I look forward to continue to work. We have a huge hole that we are sitting in because of decades of disinvestment in housing. And so I look forward to partnering with the governor as well as my legislative colleagues in continuing to push forward and building more housing for all Oregonians. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm Erin Scar, and I'm a Tillamook County Commissioner. When I started working on housing in Tillamook County back in 2015, we hadn't seen a new apartment complex or any sort of affordable development built for nearly 20 years. Most new construction was oceanfront property for people who would not live full-time in our county. We knew that our families, our seniors, and our workforce needed real housing solutions. So to get started, we worked with experts to help us understand why this much needed housing was not being built, and then to provide us with a roadmap for action. Their first recommendation was that we identify a champion. They made it clear, this work is complex, and without strong leadership, it simply will not happen on its own. So while Tillamook may not reflect the entire state, I believe some of the lessons that it gave us do apply statewide. Success starts with a champion. And for Oregon, that housing champion is Governor Tina Kotek. Thank you for taking this on with all of the rest of us. We couldn't do it without a leader. The second recommendation was to work collaboratively across city and county lines, because housing markets don't stop at the city limits. Third, they urged us to update our zoning codes, to simplify where possible, to reduce costs and delays, and to expand the types of housing that would be available, especially middle housing. When I look at the bills that have been passed since Governor Kotek came on board, we've targeted exactly those things. So I am so excited that the state has taken the action to help us move forward. We can't do it without changes that happen at the state level in our communities, and they've listened, they've heard us, and they've made these changes. Since 2019, we've added over more than 180 housing units in Tillamook County. And we have another 150 in the pipeline. In addition to that, we have developers who have reached out and said, I understand you're updating your codes. I understand that duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, cottage clusters, that middle housing will be allowed outright very soon. When will that happen? I want to come to your county. So we're excited to see the impacts of the work that has been done, and with the new bills that are being signed here today, there's additional support for us to continue to move forward. We have been asked repeatedly in our community, why can't there just be a housing plan that I can adopt? Why do I have to go through all of this work with community development? So we are really excited about that housing plan approval. So once again, I would just like to thank Governor Kotek for her work in making housing available and affordable for families, seniors, and our workforce. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Deborah Flegan, and I'm Vice President with Hayden Homes. We are a regional home builder. We're based in Oregon, and we are committed to bringing housing that the area median income wage earners can afford across the state of Oregon. This year, we successfully launched 3 new projects. These projects were in housing-focused cities of the city of Albany, the city of Cottage Grove, and the city of Bend. And we were able to do just that. We were able to bring a new community to market that offered homes at 90 to 100% area median income to the area median wage earners. And we're very, very excited about being able to do that. There is no way that that would have happened without the legislation that has recently been passed. 2 years ago, there was legislation that zoning reform and an integration of mixed housing types through a bipartisan bill was passed. And that is why we were able to do this in 3 new communities. I want to thank Governor Kotek, first of all, for her courage on her first day in office to say that we have a problem and that we need to fix it. Secondly, for her leadership to say this is all of our problem and we can do it together. And thirdly, for her unwavering commitment to continue to address the severe housing shortage in our state. I also want to say thank you to her staff. I had the privilege to be on the Governor's Housing Production Advisory Council, and I was able to get to know a few of her staff members, and they're exceptional, and they work tirelessly long hours, and we're grateful for their commitment. Today's bill signing shows the continuation of support from our legislators on both sides of the aisle, committed to ensure that all Oregonians are housed. We, Hayden Homes, and the building community continue to be steadfast in our commitment to utilize these new housing bills, and we are focused on making sure that we can deliver these 36,000 homes for the goal so we can get to 36,000 homes for the next 10 years. Thank you.
Hello all, my name is Brett and I'm a homeowner in Bend, Oregon. That's a sentence I did not think I'd be able to say for at least a decade or possibly ever. Like in most of Oregon, homeownership is exceedingly expensive in Central Oregon. My wife Michelle and I were expecting our son Finn when we learned of a path to buying a home through an affordable housing nonprofit. We jumped at the chance, and through our efforts and opportunity provided by Rooted Homes, we qualified for a mortgage on a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house in Bend. But what does being a homeowner really mean? To our family, it's security and freedom that brings. We painted an accent wall in our home in a bright color, we bought window blinds in our favorite style, and we planted a garden bed on our front walk. These are improvements that we would never have considered as renters. Sure, we could do them, but it would be on someone else's property, not our own. We've added a shed to house our electric bicycles. Our son absolutely adores these bikes, and he often grabs his helmet near our front door in his eagerness to go riding. These are bicycles that we bought so we can ride around our neighborhood, and to the store, and to bakeries, and to concerts, and all the things that are within biking distance. We are near these things because we are part of the community we live in, and not because we commute from out far where we could afford those homes. It means being in town, which is a lot more than you would expect. You know, we feel we work in this community. We've added, not to mention that we have a fixed mortgage, which we can budget better and afford those bicycles and bakeries and concerts. I often hear fears that affordable housing automatically means the neighborhood will change in dramatic and unpredictable ways, but my experience has been the complete opposite. The families that have been living near a vacant lot for over a decade were curious and kind people who were supportive of our affordable development. And after my experience at Rooted Homes, I was rejuvenated and joined their board for 4 years. And after all of those years talking with family after family that is served by funding and legislation like Governor Kotek signed today, I only met people who were excited to fully join those communities. Thank you for all the support I've seen today, and thank you for creating real opportunities for other families to gain security and freedom like ours. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today. So now we're going to sign some bills. We're going to get more homes for people to get and buy. So thank you, Brett, for being here. This is about folks having the security to know how their lives are going to be, how they're going to grow their families and have a place to live. And I want to again thank Habitat for Humanity. The families who are going to live here are going to have something we should all want for everyone here in the state. The predictability of a home, a community, a neighborhood, a place they can afford and grow. Many of us have had that in our lives, and we should want that for every Oregonian, and we're going to have that here with all the work. Let's go sign some bills. Thank you.
When she does when the governor does the media bill, she's gonna do that. I don't think they do. Okay. I'm just gonna leave my mic up here. No, yeah, please do. I just didn't wanna. I don't think it's in the way. Yeah, that's what I'm I like the hammer. Get your song. All right, Governor, we've got them all lined up there with pens. Nice the hammers. Okay. I can bring it in just a little bit tighter. Ranger director. I want them. Let me see what happens. Okay.
I'm gonna be taking the photo here, so. Okay.
All right, we're taking photo. Okay, wait a minute, just a photo first. Before I start signing. Okay.
All right.
Everybody close enough?
You got to be able to see the lens to make sure your face is in the shot. Here we go. Smiley faces on 3, 1, 2. One more. 3, 2. Okay.
Okay. All right, first one off the rack here. House Bill 2138. More middle housing everywhere. Woo, woo, woo! Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Watch out, all those unincorporated areas. Here you come. Okay. Next bill, 3031. The Oregon Infrastructure Finance Authority. Senator, we're going to get you some money. Woo, woo. Yes, I agree, Sam. All right. House Bill 2258, Oregon Homes. Let's just make it easier and give people some plans, right? And thanks to the team from DLCD who helped with this. We really appreciate you.
Yay!
And Senate Bill 684. Oh, that's the, okay, nope, I had the wrong one. The other one was the infrastructure bill. This is Senator Pham's bill. We're gonna get you more money.
Thank you.
There you go. Do you know what construction's about? Financing, all right. Okay. And then last but not least, House Bill 3145, our modular housing bill. Representative Marsh, I'm gonna hold you accountable.
Okay.
Get us some more modular. Okay, fantastic. How do you want me to hold the bills? That's a little hard.
Yeah, we'll just.
Okay, I'm gonna fan it.
Here we go.
I gotta play cards. Okay. All right.
House of Cards.
All right, baby.
Full house,
Full house.
really.
All right.
Lot of cameras.
How we doing? How's that look?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Okay, right here. 3, 2. One more. Okay.
Nice. Thank you, everyone.